Witch Trials Weekly, Video 10, March the 18th to March the 24th, 1692. Martha, Rebecca, and a little girl.
Anne Putnam Sr. had to care for Anne Putnam Jr., Mercy Lewis, as well as her other 5 children and husband. Now, she also had to carry out all her normal housely duties, and on top of that, she was pregnant at the time. So she needed to rest, but rest she did not. Instead, she was apparently afflicted with the spirit of Rebecca Nurse, and Martha Corey's specter supposedly bothered her as well. An arrest warrant and official complaint were issued against Martha Corey. Reverend Deodat Lawson of Boston came to Salem Village to see for himself what was happening. He met with Mary Walcott, one of the afflicted girls. Now, before she left, she was lingering in the doorway and said she had been bitten on the wrist by a specter. Now, Deodat Lawson saw these teeth marks for himself, but if you ask me, I'd imagine that she waited till he turned his back and bit her own wrist. Reverend Deodat Lawson went to Reverend Parris's house for Sabbath. There he witnessed Abigail Williams running about, flapping her wings, until she stopped suddenly, apparently confronted by the spirit of Rebecca Nurse. "Do you not see her? Why, there she stands! I won't take it! I do not know what this book is. I am sure it is none of God's book. It is the devil's book, for aught I know." She then started throwing burning sticks from the fire about the room before trying to escape up the chimney. Meanwhile, Giles Corey was half inclined to believe that his own wife was a witch. One night, while Giles was praying, his wife Martha spoke out against the way he was phrasing his prayers. He suddenly then was unable to speak or form words, and blamed this affliction on his wife. Now this would soon become known by the courts and be used as evidence against Martha Corey. Several girls appeared afflicted at service the next Sunday. They claimed that they were tormented by the spirits of Rebecca Nurse and Martha Corey, who was in the meeting house at the time. Now, Martha Corey stood her ground. She claimed that she would clear up the accusations against her and open the magistrate's eyes, because a gospel woman like herself could not possibly do such horrible things. The next day, Monday, March 21st, was Martha Corey's examination. Judges Hathorne and Corrin presided, and Samuel Parris took notes. Martha stated, "I am an innocent person. I never had to do with witchcraft since I was born. I am a gospel woman." The girls appeared afflicted with her specter and claimed that the devil whispered in her ear. As the questioning continued, Martha's answers grew more confused, but she continued to insist that she was innocent. But every move she made started to affect the girls in some way. She was asked to stop biting her lip, clenching her fists. Even when she slumped forward, the girls apparently felt that. Martha Corey was then held for trial. It was claimed that the spirit of Sarah Good's 4-year-old daughter, Dorcas Good, tried to strangle Mary Walcott. The next day, Rebecca Nurse's specter apparently told Anne Putnam Sr. that if she didn't sign the devil's book, that she would rip her spirit from her body. Now, shortly after this, Israel and Elizabeth Porter visited the ailing Rebecca Nurse to tell her that she had been named as a witch. She responded to them by saying, "Well, as to this thing, I am as innocent as the child unborn. But surely, what sin hath God found out in me unrepentant of, that he should lay such an affliction upon me in my old age?" It should be noted that Anne Putnam Sr. still mourned the death of some of her and her sister's children, while Rebecca Nurse's 8 children all grew up to have families of their own. What actual problems existed between the two women, though, is unknown. Arrest warrants were sworn out for Rebecca Nurse and 4-year-old Dorcas Good, who would be brought to Ingersoll's Ordinary for examination Monday the 24th. As Rebecca Nurse pleaded her innocence, Anne Putnam Sr. yelled, Did you not bring the black man with you? Did you not bid me tempt God and die? How oft have you eat and drunk your own damnation? Every move she made, the girls reacted adversely. The afflictions of the girls grew so extreme that onlookers wept. Samuel Parris was unable to take note of everything because the girls were so loud and so out of control. Now Rebecca Nurse believed the girls to be bewitched and explained that she had not gone to visit them because she was afraid of falling into fits herself. When Rebecca bowed her head, Elizabeth Hubbard's head retched sideways, and Abigail Williams shouted for someone to set up Goody Nurse's head. The maid's neck will be broke. Rebecca replied, I cannot help it. The devil may appear in my shape. And she was held for trial. The examination of Dorcas Good was next. Now, whoever Dorcas looked at appeared to be tormented, and even though an officer held her head still, anyone in her line of vision still flinched. One of the afflicted girls showed bite marks. Now, the court ruled that the bite marks were too small to be those of the afflicted girl, and therefore must have been Dorcas's. Dorcas was held for trial, most likely in the prison keeper's house.
This video was produced with special permission from the author and publisher. This chronicle covers the years 1692 to 1697 in detail. It also touches briefly on important and relevant events before and after this time. To get a copy for your personal research and enjoyment, please visit our store at the link below.